I mentioned in the last episode that week 29 would be the first week of a 10-week roller coaster ride of ups and downs. I had started the second half of the Million Words project with a lot of energy for writing, and very quickly that energy had been diverted to other priorities. Weeks 27 and 28 had been hard on my word count total. I had lost 10,000 words of the storehouse of extra words I had accumulated in the first half of the project. So I started week 29 determined to stop the bleeding. How did I do? Well, it could have been better. It could have been worse. This is starting to sound familiar. Welcome to the Million Words Project. Update for week 29. I'm Eric Sheridan Wyatt. 29 weeks ago, I challenged myself to write 1 million new words in 1 year. And this video series chronicles that quest towards 1 million words. Typically, I post a new video every week describing the ups and downs of this effort to write 1 million words. A few weeks ago, though, some unexpected news upended my plans and had to put the videos on hold for a few weeks. And I experienced back-to-back weeks where, even though I was putting video production on hold, I still had the lowest word count week I had since I started keeping track. I'm back, settled in a new location, and catching up on these updates. So let's take a look at the word count totals for week 29. To recap a little, week 27 was just under 14,000 words. Week 28 was 16,000. Week 29 started with great promise. I started the week with 5,000 words on Sunday and Monday, and that was a pretty good start. But as I show you the totals for the week, you'll see that I fell just short of 19,000 words this week. I had a decent distribution across 5 categories of writing and had a chance to actually make some progress that felt more like progress, but I was still more than 1,100 words short of the weekly target of 20,000 words. As I mentioned last week, I was still in the mindset of do as much as you can, even if it isn't a full 20,000 words. Because it's much better to get close or get anything, really, than it is to get discouraged and let a whole week slip away just because I'm not making as much progress as I had hoped. And if we look at the charts and graphs, you can see one reason I was kind of okay with just doing as much as I could. The red circle near the top is the number of words I need to be on pace to hit 1 million words at the end of this experiment. The green circle shows that at the end of week 29, after 3 weeks of subpar performance in a row, I was still about 35,000 words ahead of pace. This is important because I have a 2-week vacation trip to Colorado planned before the end of this project, and my hope was to be about 2 weeks ahead of pace when we leave for that vacation, because other than journaling, I'm probably not going to have many or any new words to add to my totals during that trip. And the last point I'll make with the numbers, if I look at the 2 pie charts on the right with the blue arrows and compare my ideal distribution of words across the various categories and the actual distribution, I can see that I'm actually doing okay, except for one big area, which is the new category, which is nonfiction books, which I added to start the second half of the project because I wanted that to be a major area of focus of my efforts. But here I am 4 weeks into the new focus, and I'm definitely not hitting that portion of the target with any consistency, which brings me to today's topic. One of the great things about collecting so much data about my writing is that it keeps me from having to guess about how I'm doing. One of the drawbacks is that having so much data can actually make it harder to give myself some grace when a little leniency is warranted. If I look at this data, I had 2 contradictory reactions. First, I was disappointed that 4 weeks in, I hadn't made any substantial progress toward the goal of writing more consistently in the nonfiction book category that I hoped to be writing in. Yes, finally in week 29, I had put some numbers on the board. but that was 1/5 of where I sort of wanted to be after 4 weeks. But the second reaction was to take a step back and realize I had a lot of unexpected additions to my life. And my ideal word distribution and the reality of my schedule weren't terribly compatible with each other. There were a number of unanticipated factors complicating my time on task, and no matter how on fire I am for writing, I can only write so fast. I think I shared this before, but from a dozen years of self-observation, I know that my average